Hey everyone, my name is Travis Vaughan, and this is my Behaviorist presentation for EDU 520. I've been assigned Maslow's hierarchy of needs, so let's get started. Abraham Maslow was born in Brooklyn, New York in 1908. He was the firstborn of 7 siblings. Oddly, he was married to his cousin Bertha Goodman in 1928. He studied scientific psychology at the University of Wisconsin, where he earned his Bachelor of Art, his Master of Art, and also his PhD in experimental psychology. He promoted the concept of self-actualization, which we'll talk about here in just a little bit. He also developed his hierarchy of needs and published it in 1943. He passed away at the age of 62 in 1970. So what exactly is the hierarchy of need? Well, think of it this way, like a pyramid. Human needs are arranged in a hierarchy, with physiological or survival needs at the bottom, and the more creative and intellectually oriented self-actualization needs at the top. As we jump into these next few slides, we'll explore what the 5 levels of needs are and how we as educators can work to effectively meet those needs for the students in our classrooms. All right, so it's always best to start at the bottom and build up. So let's start with the bottom of the pyramid. Physiological needs, or basic survival. Breathing, food, water, sex, sleep, going to the bathroom. These would be considered basic survival needs. Now, as educators, the 2 things that we are most concerned with in our classrooms are making sure that we are teaching and also that we're managing the behavior of our students. Okay, but here's the problem. We can't manage the behavior until we've made sure that the individual's basic needs are already met. Okay, food, water, sleep, warmth, those type things. We don't have control over all of them. We can tell if our students are breathing. If they are, we're in good shape. If they're not, we need to do something immediately. And students will ask and let us know if they need to go to the restroom. What we don't always see are things like, are they eating enough? Are they drinking enough? Are they warm enough? If your classroom is like mine, I don't have control over the thermostat in my classroom. It is always cold at John Hardin High School. So every now and then we have to call down to the office and say, hey, can somebody go down and light the fire or something so that we can get a little heat in the room so that we can thaw out. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're meeting the needs of our students before we start addressing behavior. Because one of the things that we know is that a hungry or tired student, they might find it difficult to regulate their behavior. We experience this in my household a lot. I have 3 kids, 10, 14, and 18. My 18-year-old, she's getting ready to go off to college this fall. And earlier this week, we spent some time at Campbellsville University working on admissions and also financial aid. We realized when we got there that Anna had not eaten breakfast. Now, that might not sound like a big deal, but trust me, it is, because my daughter is one of those who her food or her hunger drives her behavior, or at least her attitude. Okay, so she gets hangry. And so we got down there, and all of a sudden, she's getting hungry. And her face just starts to change. She gets this sour look on her face. She looks like she's upset. She's getting a little grumpy and snappy. And so we're immediately in panic mode because we know we're about to meet with these people. We had to make sure her basic need of hunger was met so that we could go and have an actual good meeting with the financial aid office. So how do we work on this as educators? Well, in my school system, these needs are met through the Family Resource Center most of the time. They provide clothing, they provide food, they provide water, all of the basic necessities for these students. Not only that, they also collaborate with their families as well to make sure that they're getting what they need. Safety needs, which is the next step up, or security and stability, those are things like security of the body, security of employment, resources, family, health, and property. So for educators, one of the things that we can do to meet these needs is we need to establish what we've already talked about before in this course, is establishing clear rules and expectations, being consistent and predictable in the way that we maintain the sense of security and the rule following in our classrooms. We need to promote a safe environment. So addressing things like bullying and harassment, making sure that students feel physically and emotionally safe in our classrooms. Not only that, we need to build trust. And that happens through consistency and fair expectations. Not only that, but carrying out and holding people accountable fairly, that also builds trust. And so we need to make sure that these needs are being met, and that helps to curb what we would tend to call misbehavior. So the third rung, or the third level of the pyramid, would be love and belonging needs. Social connection, if you will. Family, friendship, sexual intimacy. For educators, it's fostering a sense of community in our classroom. So this is done through various ways, such as collaborating with one another. Not just collaboration among the teachers, but collaboration among the students, teamwork, right? Creating opportunities for positive peer interaction. One of the things that we've done in this course is looking at the discussion boards when we post our assignments, and then we go on and we comment about the assignments that our peers have posted, and we offer positive, constructive criticism. And that's what we need to do in our classrooms as well. We need to build positive relationships again. Get to know the individuals, these students. Appreciate the fact that not all of them are same. They come from different backgrounds, different family groups. Everything about them is different, right? So strong relationships go a long way. And then also creating an environment where everyone feels valued, accepted, and belongs. When your students walk into your room, they need to know that they belong there, that you want them there. And by doing that, you have met this need of love and belonging. All right, so number 4 is one that we talk about a lot with kids, and that is self-esteem, right? Esteem needs. So self-esteem, confidence, achievement, respect both from other people and for other people. As educators, we need to recognize efforts and achievements. We need to acknowledge the things that our students do that are positive and give them feedback. Let them know how much we appreciate the fact that they've done what they've done. Those attaboy moments. Hey, way to go. You did great. Thumbs up, high fives, whatever you got to do to encourage these students. Not only that, we need to provide opportunities for success, such as differentiating instruction that's going to match individual needs and help them experience success. We all know that no two students are the same. Every one of them is different. Some of them are going to be good at some things while others are good at other things. Okay, so through moments when we have collaboration, some are going to shine in one area and some are going to shine in another area, but together they can all shine. So we need to help them experience success by differentiating the ways that we do things. Not only that, we need to boost self-esteem. We can do things like encouraging independence, autonomy. Student autonomy is a huge, huge thing that they're looking for. Provide opportunities for leadership. Give them the opportunity to lead something or even to do a little teaching on their own. Okay, obviously we're not going to put them in front of the classroom and allow them to do the lecture, but we can allow them to do some groupthink and do some thinking out loud and some brainstorming, and then build off of the things that they come up with. All right, so the top of the pyramid, self-actualization or reaching full potential. This one is it's the mountaintop, right? It's where we're trying to get. So supporting personal growth. For educators, what does this mean? It means exploring the exploration of interests or goal setting or taking initiative. One of the things that we do in Hardin County Schools in the high schools where I'm at is we have pathways. So there's somewhere around 40 different pathways, career pathways that our students have the opportunity to explore over the 4 years of their high school. So they can do everything from welding or nursing to phlebotomy to consumer sciences. They can do engineering, all these different pathways. And what we do is we encourage them, hey, look at this list, find something that you think, or more than one something that you think that you would be interested in, that you would want to follow, and give that pathway a try. And at any point, they can decide after, their first trimester, they can look at it and go, hey, this is not for me. I am not a welder. I need to go try something else. And they can switch their pathway and try different things until they find the thing that fits. So exploration of interests. Not only that, we can offer opportunities in the classroom for creativity or problem solving or pursuing passions. The idea is we're giving them opportunities to reach their full potential, to find something that they love and latch onto it and become something that they want to become. All right, let's spend just a few more minutes talking about self-actualization, because this one is really important. Self-actualization is the drive to become the best version of oneself. I love the way that Dr. Seuss says it when he says, "Today you are you that is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you." And we know that that is true. And for self-actualization, the need that is being met is unique to each individual. No two individuals are going to experience this in the same way. As a matter of fact, as adults, we can be fulfilled by becoming a good parent or through our work. For teenagers and adults, it could be an artistic expression such as painting or acting or dancing or being good at music. It could be through creating, whether it's building with Legos or actually building skyscrapers, developing things, inventing. Maslow, here's the thing. He did not believe that many of us would actually achieve true self-actualization. However, what he did believe is that all of us would experience moments of self-actualization, and he called these moments peak moments. You might be more familiar with another term that we hear all the time, talking about mountaintop experiences. And as educators, that's one of the things that we want to try to help our students experience. We want them to have those mountaintop experiences where they have accomplished something that maybe they didn't think they could. They were convinced that they weren't going to do well on a test. And yet through the tutoring, through the extra sessions, through the help that we give them, through the instruction, all of a sudden they achieve it. They reach a level that they didn't think they could do, and they experience that mountaintop experience, that moment of self-actualization. And in doing so, it creates a fire and a drive to want to experience that again and again and again. All right, so it's not all sunshine and rainbows all the time, because even the hierarchy of needs, as well thought out and put together as it seems to be, it still has its critics. Many claim that it's too rigid. They have concerns about the fact that Maslow assumes that the lower needs must be satisfied before a person can achieve self-actualization. Real-world observations show that different needs or levels of needs, they can actually be met at the same time. And this has led some to even claim that parts of the hierarchy have been falsified. Hofstede goes on to state that the hierarchy of needs alone does not account for differences in cultural needs of societies and their unique social and intellectual needs. He also asserts that bracketing sex in the bottom category, the foundation, that it forms an individualistic perspective that does not acknowledge the emotional and psychological impacts that this has on an individual. Others criticize the hierarchy of needs as they discuss the methodology and the unrepresentative nature, as Maslow used the top 1% achievers of college populations and referred to well-known academics and high achievers such as Einstein in his research, making it impossible to generalize his findings to a wider population. So the conclusion that I've come to is this: Maslow's hierarchy of need is a valuable tool that should be used in classrooms to help educators meet the needs of their students. It's not a magic wand that'll work in every circumstance, and I don't believe we're ever going to find one of those. But until we do, we need to use the tools that we have available in the instances that we see they're going to be effective. And by doing so, we're going to help our students. Thank you guys for sticking with me through this whole presentation. Hope you have a great day.